Here, coming to you on, well, kind of a dreary, yucky-looking Monday, but the point of order here is essentially I am utilizing, and yes, I'm kind of still using the old-school style shooting that I used to use, where pretty much was, third person, but anyway, we're talking today about, of all things, the classic HD and standard flip camera with Swiss Army knife for, some form of, size reference. Now, back in the industry, good old days, like, back in the early 2000s of, 2009. No, more like 2000. Oh, hell, like 11 years ago was my very first YouTube video, and of course that means 2009. Well, anyway, state of the art essentially was still the flip camera. Frame rate was kind of slow. It was a fixed focus lens. This one, of course, being HD. This one, of course, being the standard one. This one's not turning on. The HD is still working. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. But also, the other thing, too, is also simply because technology has improved so much that literally you have gone from essentially a very, very primitive, cell phone that had, really, really not great camera functions, a little dinky screen. This thing still works, by the way. Only problem is the network does not support it any longer. This one is an LG Envy. This one, of course, being my old ass-kicking Samsung S3, which is the broken screen courtesy of my niece because she made me drop it. But that one still works. The camera on this one was but it was not bad. The current one that I'm sure, you guys are currently looking at right now is, of course, the Samsung S5, which will be upgraded, and I'll be doing a video about that when I finally do my upgrade. I'm just waiting for the new phone to come. Anyway, so essentially we have these cameras. Now, the thing about it is the coolest part about it is you really didn't need any hardcore technology of which to make it interact with your computer. You simply just flip down this lever, and literally, that was the reason why it was a flip camera. It had a built-in USB, not the fastest bit rate, but actually you just simply walk over and boop, plug it into your laptop, plug it into your computer, and you would download the files. Now, is there any files that are currently still in this, HD unit? Actually, there is. So let me pop this sucker on, and you can see that there's really minimal controls. There's basically a play button, there's a, trash button, there's a record button, and there's a 2x built-in digital zoom. There's a couple functions you can go back and forth. Obviously, there's a power button. Obviously, there's a place to put in a, hand wrist cord. There is obviously a place to screw it into a camera stand. So that's actually very good functions. Now, in terms of what this thing actually does is, you just simply take your camera, hit the button, and you're recording. Now, this is probably going to be kind of weird because I'm doing camera within a camera within a camera, but what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do some kind of side-by-side comparison here. Even in terms of, like, the actual picture quality on the internal monitor is really not bad for a camera of this age, and the HD was actually a very good piece of kit. Obviously, the sound is going to be such that, you're using the internal microphone. It does have like I said, a fixed focus camera, so I'm now looking at the camera. Obviously that's what this thing's looking at. And, so let's just do a side-by-side comparison here. So let's just shoot a bit of this flip camera, and then I'll shoot a bit of this flip camera, which is kind of strange because I'm trying to do this real time, and it is a fixed focus lens. The nice thing is that the Samsung S5 is much better technology, and it will actually float focus. You can, get something, I know I boo-booed my finger, but you can get something in focus up close, you can get something in focus further away. The technology is good like that. So let's just look at a computer screen and see what that looks like. So very, very first videos, obviously online on my YouTube channel. Let's just do the same thing with this camera. So we'll just kind of do like a side-by-side thing, and I'll do a back and forth and see who's who and what's what. It's a little strange to do it with the flip camera because I'm looking through a camera into like the image that I'm currently shooting. Now, the other thing too is also this is limited function in one regard, so I'm going to stop recording now. The biggest thing that's cool about this is you have a built-in player. So what is actually the one video file that is still in here? It is a 5-minute video file from when Mrs. Dude and I went up on a cruise ship that left out of Baltimore in the Inner Harbor area known as Key Highway, and that is the travel plaza that takes you onto your cruise ship from Baltimore. And we went out of there and we did a New England cruise. We stopped in Boston, obviously Boston and Massachusetts. We stopped in Portland, Maine, Bar Harbor, Maine. Then we went up to Port St. John, which is the Bay of Fundy, and then we went to Halifax and then came back. Halifax, Nova Scotia. So we did some pretty good stops on that. We've done that cruise twice. It was very nice. But when you get on the cruise ship, they pipe you away. So, you know what? I'm gonna cheat here real quick, and I'm gonna show you a replay on this. Then I'm gonna show you a replay of what it actually looks like when I download the file and put it back in the computer. So let's just go with that real quick here. And there's that one. But let's just look at the Halifax one. So let's play that. Okay, so obviously I'm going to edit that to some point where you guys can hear the side-by-side of what it sounds like as an actual sound file from the camera itself and what it sounds like, auditorily, listening in with an external mic on my Samsung X5, because I always record with an external mic simply because the internal mic on this camera phone just sounds like caca. right, folks, I'm going to bring up on this one. The technology is still around. These things actually came in a couple different flavors. There was, of course, the base element, which was a limited function, and it was normally written out as hours of recording time. The 4 gig, I think, was essentially a 1 hour. The 8 gig was like a 2 hour. Obviously, there was the HD of 4 and 8 gig. Then there became like another one, which was the flip slide, I think, was another one. And then there was the Mino. So all these things, as they got progressively better and better, they added the technology and they came on and moved on and were better and better and better and better. The main thing is essentially the company that actually did this was Cisco, which was more of an information technology company. And when they got tired of playing with cameras, they just simply stopped doing it. So that's essentially, that's the dead end on that one. These are no longer supported. All the technology that you're currently finding is going to be very, very second use. If you do find them new in the box, cha-ching. And I do not know why everybody wants so much money for a camera that really, truly is just old technology, and you can simply do a lot better with a camera phone, even a used camera phone. Now, the thing about it is also the technology is such is that if you get like a used iPhone, and I'm not a Mac or, Apple fanboy in the slightest, with the exception of I really, truly like iPods. That's my thing. I got like 4 iPods, and this one, of course, being the Mega Monster, is 160 gig. But the thing about it is even an older iPhone, the camera and the technology on board shoots an amazing video. So there's a lot of people that actually do play around by simply just using an iPhone, no longer being used as a telephone, as a recording device. And the thing about it is as much as they want for these guys, you can find an i6 or an i7 or an i5. One of those guys, and the camera technology is good enough that they shoot really decent videos. That's the forte of Apple technology, is audio and visual. Not so much the computing, because even my niece with her iPhone, and I laugh at her when it's like, oh, this thing's not doing so good on the internet. It's like, yeah, because you don't have an Android. Poke. All right, so I'm going to break up this one, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in on this one. Of course, it'll be the comparison side by side. I'll be doing the technology on my end, doing the editing and what have you. And you can see actually like the major difference in terms of like frame rates and just how the difference is with HD on a camera with modern technology, SamOS, and all the good stuff like that there, versus like really archaic stuff that was state-of-the-art like 15, 16, 17 years ago. I'm going to break up with this one. Eat your technology as always. You love it. And I play with the old stuff, so you don't have to. See you guys.